Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world.
I have a dream.
Well, that's where we start when I go into politics.
Continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Is increasing inequality and deep divisions among our own people.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Congress has failed to pass federal hate crimes legislation that protects LGBT Americans from senseless violence.
So let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look after not only ourselves but each other.
Broadcasting live from the MSC Radio Network in a city built on steel, rock and roll, and is a fictitious home of Betty White. This is Joust It Out, and I'm your host, G. We got a full house tonight.
A very full house.
We have, of course, the old standby Judith Pindell and Robin Our Hearts.
Good evening.
But we have also in the house the most fabulous, amazing hairstylist to the stars, original Clevelander, now big New Yorker, back to grant us this great pleasure. And we have Colin Lively in the studio.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my God, that's me!
you!
Oh my God, I got so excited. You've got Colin Lively back from New York here in Cleveland?
You know?
It live in the studio.
Shut up. This kid, he said he would never come back.
We'll get to you soon enough, Colin. We also have Mark Szabo in the studio, and Mark is a community activist, veteran. He is a guy that is hard at work to help our community in many ways, from LGBT issues, progressive issues, and we're going to be talking about this week's rally, actually protest and rally for marriage equality and full equality.
Correct.
Yep, so we'll be getting to that in a second, but, you know, it's been another week. We have this full house. How are you ladies doing?
You want to start with me? We can start with me
Let's
today.
start with
All right.
Robin.
Yeah, what happened to you?
Did you have any brush with the police this
No,
week?
not this week.
Okay.
It's just been a rush in general. I've been trying to get a new car, and then I had to get ready for the show. There's a movie scene that perfectly reflects what I went through, and that's when Miss Doubtfire had to dunk her face in the cake. And then with these lights and the heat, it's like that cake is left out in the rain. So there's going to be a lot of mud right here in a little bit, because this makeup is just going to melt right off of me.
I gotta say, the girls have good boobage tonight. I mean, it's kind of glowing.
How did this? I know I didn't.
Don't be
how
so
did this
straight.
I know. I don't know what it is.
Oh my!
You may-
Just cover up.
but they're kind of in my face. You're not usually this close to me. It's over there. I don't have to be staring at them like that. What do you think, Colin, about their boobage?
I'm not what they call a boob man. You're right. We've got to dodge them tonight.
We really do.
Watch out, boys! You might get knocked over. Poke an eye out.
Is that
There's
what they
going to be
call
a
them,
couple of
knockers?
motorboats before the show's over.
Exactly.
But, you know, of course, this week there was another primary in Illinois, and Rick Santorum tried, but the powers that be within the Republican Party were not going to have that happen. And so the delegate count is not looking so good for Santorum right now. And Romney had a big win last evening. You know, I was checking out some stuff online, and some of the shenanigans that are going on around the delegate counts around the country are fascinating. I mean, it's not the way the Dems do it. I mean, it's a whole other way the Republicans do it to lock this sucker up. But it is fascinating. You're looking at me like you're going to say something.
No, I'm just, I'm still rooting for Santorum.
I know you are.
He's my guy.
Oh, and Colin's pointing to himself saying mine too.
I am definitely a Democrat for Santorum. I'm urging all Democrats to get behind Santorum for president.
That should be a new campaign, DFS, Democrats for Santorum.
I know. But I think every week we talk about this and we just think, it'd be so exciting to go to the full convention with them still battling it out. It'd be so nice, but I don't know, guys.
Even Newt's still hanging in there.
I know.
When is he going to just give it up?
Newt's doing his huge job for Romney. He's taking care of Romney on the backside, pulling those votes from Santorum. But I think, very shortly, I think the money game is going to play out. And how can Newt stick in there? It just seems ridiculous.
Too much alimony to too many wives.
That's right. His bank account goes drying up there.
Santorum has the comical equivalent to Sarah Palin. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. He's just really, really funny because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
that's why I love
Except
him.
He doesn't look at his hand for the answers. That's a Palin thing.
Yeah, that's true. So Mark got in here a little while ago. He was very excited.
Yes.
I mean, he jumped in the door and he's
got
like,
breaking news.
Did you hear the news? And of course, we were busy getting set up, so we didn't hear the news.
Know.
So I certainly need to say today is March 21st, 2012. And the breaking news as of how long ago, Mark?
Probably about 2 hours ago. What happened in New Hampshire. They were voting on whether to repeal marriage equality in New Hampshire. And for the second time ever, a majority conservative Republican legislator voted against an anti-gay marriage marriage equality bill. So New Hampshire still has marriage equality, and it was overwhelmingly protected. 211 representatives in the House voted to keep marriage equality for same-sex couples. And the other state that has done it is Wyoming. Yeah. And it's been fiscal conservatives, small government conservatives who've helped protect marriage equality.
That's so exciting.
That is
awesome.
It is interesting in New Hampshire, though, out of the New England states, it is the live free or die state. And they, coming from New England, New Hampshireites are kind of like those folks. They still love their guns. And not many people in New England love their guns that much. But New Hampshireites do. And certainly, some of those folks in Maine, the maniacs do. But, you get down, as you get down into Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, we kind of like, no, we like our gun laws. But it's interesting because on social stuff, they do have a tendency to kind of pull out that way. So yeah, that's exciting though. Very good news,
exciting.
And it ties into why you're here today.
Yes, it does.
Do you want to fill us in, because this is kind of a story that people need to hear, because it was a young person that kind of started this momentum in the state of Ohio. And why don't you give us a little?
It's actually a couple of young people from down in the Cincinnati area. One of them is Adam Hoover. They run a page on Facebook called Support Gay Marriage in Ohio. They started it about 2 years ago when they were about 15, 16 years old. And when marriage passed in New York, Adam, one of the admins, I had become friends with him. He's like, what else can I do in Ohio besides run this page? I mean, this page is great, but there's got to be more that I can do. I suggested, making phone calls, writing letters to the editor, and just, being more political active and being out there, because that's what helps change minds. And I said, also another thing that you can do is you can organize events, protests, rallies, whatever. And the first event he organized, he started organizing it in July, and it happened on November 5th, the Saturday before Election Day. Mm-hmm. And his main speaker was Chris Seelbach, the first openly gay elected representative down in, openly gay city councilman down in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. And a month later, Adam said, well, we'll go to Columbus. And he had former U.S. Representative Mary Jo Kilroy as one of the main speakers. Yeah. And for both of those events, we had about 400 people show up. And when we were down in Columbus, he's like, Mark, I'm coming to Cleveland next. You need to help me out. You know the people, you know the area. I'm like, well, I know the area, but I don't know the people. So
it's one hell of a way to get to know the people.
Yes, and that's been like one of the best things about this is I've got to meet so many people and just helping promote locally. Mm-hmm. And I organized a group of people, and we've contacted the different groups within our community. We've tried to get speakers representing each group, whether it be transgender, the older generation. Mm-hmm. We have Judy Benson.
Shout out to Judy Benson. We love her.
Judy Benson is going to be one of the speakers, and from Old Lesbians Organizing for Change. Mm-hmm. We have Ed Mullins from Equality Ohio. Nikki Antonio is going to be one of the featured speakers. We have Green Party candidate for the U.S. Senate, Joe Demir. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a representative from Libertarian Party presidential candidate Gary Johnson. A representative from his campaign is going to be there to speak on his behalf. But I'm really excited. Besides just having these speakers, and this is all going to be taking place down at the Free Stamp in front of City Hall, we're going to have a mass wedding. And right now we have almost 300 couples who are registered. And this wedding's going to take place at the Galleria. It's going to have straight couples, LGBT couples, and it's going to be a statement because obviously marriage is not legal for LGBT couples here in Ohio. But the religious leaders that are helping us with this, they're going to fill out all the paperwork and have it all done for free so that when marriage is legal, all those couples, their marriages will be recognized right away.
That's a nice act. It really is. If you're so it's going to start at 11 a.m. at the Free Stamp.
11 a.m. at the Free Stamp.
And the protesters are going to walk over to the Galleria?
Correct.
Okay. And is the Galleria, so they're on board with it? It's all going to be set up and...
We've got people from Basement Beauties who they've helped out with dancing in the streets. They're helping us out with the logistics and making sure that this event runs smoothly and that it represents not only the LGBT community in a positive way, but the Cleveland community and the surrounding area. And it also represents Ohio because of the first two events, we're actually getting national media because this is also a 17-year-old who's been organizing and pushing this.
Right.
So this is exciting.
Well, certainly kudos to the 17-year-old Adam and his crew of friends that are doing it, but also to you, Mark. I know that you're a vet. You have an interesting story yourself, and you've really gotten active in the last couple of years, or?
I came out in 2009, and but I just came out right away. Once I came out, I'm out there and getting active because it's important to me. Just from being active in the military, you have to be active within your government. I think that's a civic responsibility for everybody. So you have to do that just for yourself and for everybody else.
Chris is playing with my mic.
I want you to speak closer to this end.
No, but I really have to commend Mark because honestly, any social justice issue here in Cleveland and here in Ohio, Mark is on it. You ask him what's going on, what's the next thing, right. Can you help us? Mark is on it. He talk about going full on. You did. You just came out running, literally.
And, we tell people all the time to get involved, and we actually encourage a lot of our younger listeners and people that are part of the show to do things like this. And I think that you're a perfect example. Adam's a perfect example of what you can do with the power of Facebook, too. I mean, a lot of this
social media.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, with social media and the power of that and what can happen. But you now have, let's face it, you have Senator Sherrod Brown behind you, and Max Blackman will be speaking that day, and others, obviously Nikki Antonio and others. But I think it's a powerful statement when young people can get together and do that. And I want to go down this road just because last week we talked about it here, and I know it's a little uncomfortable at some point. But I kind of went off on a tangent about where as a community we're focused and how we're going to focus dollars and whatnot. And I think there's a powerful statement about marriage. And as an openly gay guy that's married, I want everyone to have those rights. But I think here in Ohio, where we're still struggling for equality around housing and work and employment discrimination, I think it was smart that you included that in this event. So it's not just marriage, which is the more marketing savvy political one that
that's
going to
get the national news,
because they're not going to talk about housing discrimination and employment discrimination, but talking about marriage and doing the setup that you have, I think is going to get the eyes on it. So it's smart to do it that way.
One other thing that we wanted to do with this event was also to educate, and we've got people who are making up a zine which will be passed out to everybody, and it's going to talk about a couple of the bills going forth in Columbus, the EHEA and the anti-bullying bill, House Bill 216, and House Bill 335 is the EHEA, and then it's also going to have information on the sexual education, because that's important to the LGBT community in that if here in Northeast Ohio, 150 schools teach abstinence till marriage. That automatically excludes LGBT students because they are not legally allowed to get married here in Ohio. So that's just one thing that, that marriage affects the entire community in different ways. And talking to Judy Benson and learning from her how it affects the elderly community, it's really interesting. That's one thing that I've taken away from this is I've talked to so many people and learned so much about the LGBT community just from organizing this, and that is an awesome thing. I love learning about people, and then also learning about the differences, because I think that's what makes America great. That's what makes Ohio great. That's what makes Cleveland great, and that's what makes our community great.
Well, on that note, I mean, I think it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a wonderful event. All of our friends are going to be there, standing proud and behind your back. And you should be honored and proud that of the work you've done. I mean, it's really great to see because let's face it, in our LGBTQ label communities, it's not very often we all come together for something, and when we do, it is an amazing thing. And you're pulling it off, Mark. And so kudos to the entire crew of folks that have been doing it. And we seriously wish you all the best, and we will continue to support you.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, Mark's like, okay, I'm out of here.
It's like, gotta go.
You torture me. We will definitely.
Oh, he's really leaving.
Oh, okay. You can stay. You don't have to leave. Yeah. We're gonna talk to Colin now because Colin's sitting there awfully quiet, and
he's been holding it. I want to hear what he's got.
Colin, so what do you think of this? The city you grew up in, the place you were born and raised, and the place that you love.
The place that you ran away from.
Well, yeah. So what do you?
Why did you run away?
And Colin's back. So you need to tell us about your evolution here too.
Well, do you know what? I mean, as I look around the room, I think I might be the oldest one in the room, which is sort of the case in most rooms I'm in these days. But the very fact, okay, you ask about why I'm back and why I left. Cleveland has been a lifetime frustration for me. This city has all the components of a world-class city. This city has had ethnic diversity since the day Moses Cleveland took the A out of Cleveland. I had a cab driver who brought me here who's from Ghana, and on the way down here, I had him bring me. I came from Shaker Heights to here. I had him take me on Martin Luther King Drive, which when I was growing up was Liberty Boulevard. But I gave him a history of why that's what it is today and why all that park system was there. He had no idea that the Rockefellers were originally from Cleveland, for example. Right. So as you drive through there, it's a reminder of how deep the roots of diversity go in this city. That's not like other Ohio cities, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. We are the same things that New York is, that what makes New York great, Cleveland is the same thing. The problem that I had in Cleveland, well, first of all, let me go back to that free stamp. One of my proudest moments, and I hope I don't cry when I talk about this, because that wouldn't be cool, right?
You can cry.
We like be cool. This is Colin Lively.
If it works for Oprah, it can work for Joust It Out.
Award-winning hairdresser. So, where was I? The mind drifts. As a white kid, growing up in an affluent white family, knowing that when you came down the hill from the Heights, your father, who would have thought he was not at all prejudiced, would say, lock the doors. He never said, there are black people at the bottom of the hill. I mean, it's interesting how Cleveland is really flat, but there's this one hill that as you, a few miles from downtown Cleveland, you go up this one hill, and you come from now what is sort of like blighted Cleveland, which was always working class Cleveland, up the hill to where the captains of industry live, overlooking the city. Mm-hmm. In the 60s, I was one of those white kids that stood in Public Square and formed a human chain across Public Square, defying the tanks to leave Public Square to go into the Glenville riots. And we stood there hand in hand. These were all rich white kids defying because there's something wrong here. Is it time for a commercial break?
No.
No, you can do this.
We need to go.
Do it.
So anyway, we supposedly have now racial equality. And I just came from Shaker Heights, and I'm driving down Superior, and I'm going, this doesn't look like racial equality to me. Mm. It might look good on paper. Now, I realize there's always economic divides, which is among all races. We do live in a free country where if you educate yourself and you work hard and you stick to that you can rise up. But too many people are born into situations in this country that do not support them from the time they're born. And that's what pisses me off. Mm-hmm. Public schools are not public. They're public if you happen to live in a high income area. But how long do we have? First of all, I feel that the affluent suburbs have sucked the life out of this city. They've siphoned off the cream and left nothing behind. But what I see now is I see a burgeoning arts community coming into Cleveland, breathing new life. I see more and more kids choosing to stay in Cleveland and more of us coming back. Mm-hmm. Why? Because, well, I feel like I can make better use of my talent in Cleveland than I can in New York. Yep. I see Tremont, I see North Collinwood, I see, West 25th Street, and I say, I want to go back there. Mm-hmm. Does this make any sense?
It does.
It does.
I mean, I think that people need to know, though, Colin, when you left here, it was really based in the fact that your business had taken off in the ways of that you became this great hairstylist that people loved, and you chased your dream in a lot of ways, and the dream didn't, Cleveland was part of it in your foundation, but you went on to do the hair of some pretty fabulous celebrities.
Oh, yes, I did. But, one of the things, but I went into business in Cleveland, Ohio when I was 24 years old. Now, I had spent my teen years and my early 20s pissing off my family and most of their friends because I was an activist. Mm-hmm. I was pissed off. I'm still pissed off. I am really pissed off at people like Rick Santorum who abuse the words of Jesus Christ, who stands claiming to be a Christian when he defiles everything that Jesus Christ, who was an extreme left-wing liberal like ourselves, and how they've misconstrued the word of this beautiful man and the beautiful words that he spoke. If you have this man turned one loaf of bread and one fish into food for all. No, not today. That's my loaf of bread. You go get your own. Even though I've taken away your money, I've taken away your education, I've taken away your public arts support, but you go get your bread yourself, not one crumb of mine. And that's what pisses me off.
Mm-hmm. Well, Colin, I want to just go back. Now, last week we talked about something. I'm going to do a little segue because I was looking at the time, but I want to play I want to play a video clip, and here's why. I think that you touched on an amazing thing here in this city that is, predominantly African American, and the way this city has been built, the way how the city was built, and I don't know if you heard last week's show, but I was taken aback by the windows at Brooks Brothers, that it was of the cotton fields, mm-hmm. and then they go into on the window.
Look at his face.
And this is in Tower City.
Yes.
And and I reached out to Brooks Brothers this past week to see.
Did you?
Yeah, they've given me no comment. They will not comment on their marketing campaign. But in the window, the language says that they are honoring the cotton industry in the United States because of a specific cotton seed. And because of the person I spoke to, who seemed to be callous at best about the emotion around this issue, around the history, around the families that really paid the price for that industry. I want to play this video, and then we'll just come out of it real quick. So let me just do that.
And so they're not talking about the cotton industry today. They are celebrating the cotton industry
from 1822. And
we can all remember from our history classes what was going on in the cotton fields in 1822.
So folks that might not be familiar with some of this was an activist song by an African American woman back in the late early 1900s.
White folks knows I'm working. They know soon be no shirking. Hi-ho, I knows I'll get my pay. Ain't no use kicking, 'cause I'll be picking till all my children is grown. Then I'll shuffle and skip and shuffle to have a field of my own. all my life. I've been making it all my life. White folks taking it this old hard. They just breaking it and got a thing to show for what a dum-dum. But things get brighter, loads get lighter. I'll keep a-plugging away. Sing my song like I'm happy and gay all day. Just tell the world for
When gay had a different meaning.
my soul done set me free. That's the song I'll sing till they put me under the sleigh. Oh, children, stop your grumbling. Oh, that's the block was stumbling. Just keep on working and pray, then you'll see that you'll conquer someday.
The marketing execs of Brooks Brothers need to see this.
Ain't no use kicking, I'll be picking till all my children is grown. Then I'll shuffle, skip, and scuffle to have a field of my own. All my life, I've been making it all my life. White folks taking it this old hard. They's just breaking it and got a thing to show for what a done. But things get brighter, loads get lighter. I'll keep a plugging away. Sing my song like I am happy and gay all day. Just tell the world for me, my soul done set me free. That's the song I'll sing till they put me under the sleigh.
Catchy. Had a little jig going back here all day. I had to lighten the mood. I'm in a room full of white people. I feel sorry.
I know.
Oh, you're not white?
I feel like I owe you reparations or something.
No, I'm not white.
Well, see, I became colorblind so long ago.
And the question I always get is, well, how do you... No, I don't feel... I'm okay. I don't need to answer. I'm neutral.
So, you know, it was... It infuriates me, the response of Brooks Brothers, because I thought that after talking to some folks that said that employees were upset by this set of windows that is a national campaign, but the marketing department seems to not care. Their press people so far have not responded. I'm hoping by next week they do. But of course this is in stores all across the country, and it's just it's a rough thing to see.
And we're not the only ones talking about it.
No.
You know, Jennifer Swampwitch brought it up to you that there's things popping up all over the country that people are outraged at this. So
right, and they.
Well, we've got a whole slew of Republican presidential hopefuls who, I mean, one of them just called what was it he called his ranch down in Texas before the...
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
No, I don't want to say it either.
Yeah.
But I mean...
Rick Perry. Yes. When Rick
this
Perry...
is in 2012.
Right.
We're not talking about...
Won't change the name
18
of his ranch.
and 12.
Right.
He changed it because of public pressure. He didn't change it himself. Okay, let's remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That Rick Perry was all too proud of this name.
Well, we'll show you during the break. We're going to be going to the break, but I want to again thank Mark Szabo for stopping by. Mark Szabo for stopping by today, and we really look forward to this weekend with you, Mark. We'll all be there, and we're going to come back in a little bit with Colin Lively and continue this conversation and much more. So we're going on a break, and give us a call because Colin is quite the character, and we're kind of controlling his personality today for some reason. But you want to ask Colin some questions? Give us a call at 888-668-0742 when we come back.
Oh, great. Not another Farmville request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Morning Show Central. Denying one Farmville request at a time. Call the show toll free. 1-888-6 668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
MSC Radio Network weather is sponsored by NeoWeather.com. I am forecaster Brian Ivy. Well, I'm sure everybody had the AC on, or at least the windows and doors open today, as we made it up to another record high temperature of 83 degrees. That's just 1 degree shy of the all-time record for a March high temperature. Looking at tonight, we will see clear skies throughout the evening into the overnight, with temperatures dropping throughout the 70s into the 60s by about 11 p.m. and falling to a low temperature tonight of 57. A few more clouds will be around for Thursday, with a high temperature of 80 degrees. We'll go with a partly cloudy sky there. Slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm around the area in the afternoon and evening. Should not be any kind of a big deal at all. We'll increase the clouds a little bit Thursday night into Friday and go with a mainly cloudy forecast for Friday. There's a slight chance of some rain throughout the afternoon. We'll reach a high temperature of about 75, but a much better chance of some rain and storms Friday night into Saturday.
If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylelimousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at reduxdirect.com. That's reduxdirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. You can become a member by logging on to lovecocaine.com. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Rise above the clutter, brand your identity, and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound.
If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningsHowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. Coming at you from the rock and roll capital, it's an exciting and fast-paced global forum with the man who knows how to help get your band even better. Yeah! Doc Rock tackles industry issues with informed guests and invites your questions, concerns, and tales of band life. There's never a dull moment in Doc's world of showbiz. He cares about artist issues and escalating your talents. So make an appointment with Doc Rock on Band-Aid. Thank you! Tuesday night, starting at 9:05. Only on MorningsHowCentral.com. Having problems with your home computer or business PC? Looking to have some upgrade work completed on your computer? Have a special project in mind that may be too much for you to undertake alone? Time to call
Joe, the printer guy!
Guy. Joe the Printer Guy offers a full-service hardware and software repair center at his facility to handle your PC, server, and networking needs. Let their professional service staff handle your computer needs. They offer expert service at an affordable price. Visit Joe the Printer Guy at 14035 Madison Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Online, joetheprinterguy.com, or give him a call at 216-651-3880. Joe the Printer Guy. You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC, and you know what saved them? Rectiphy backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectiphy backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectiphy can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectiphy.com. That's RECTIPHY.com. Check out Uncensored Net Noise every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Uncensored Net Noise on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hey, it's Big Daddy from The Marty Allen Show. Catch the replay of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on MSC. Now, my show airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 at MartyAllenShow.com. But you can catch the best of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on Morning Show Central. So if you want all the latest sports news, entertainment news, and everything else that's going on in the world, then tune into my show live at MartyAllenShow.com and the best of the replays right here at MorningShowCentral.com. Get MSC and get cooking, baby.
Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on MorningShowCentral.com. From the Cocaine Energy Supplement Studio, you're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Oh, these? No, mine are on the
We're back. Guess what? We're back. See the light?
Oh, we're back.
Colin, what are you
making
doing?
All types of a fuss over here.
It's been one of those days, I swear to goodness.
Wednesdays are always one of those days. Yeah.
Between your day and my day at the State House.
I know.
Woo!
Yeah.
And Colin Lively here in the studio.
Colin Lively
I'm
is
about
throwing
to
us all
pass
off.
out. I'm just like, it's incredible. It's amazing. Really.
One good question. I'd like to know, which celebrities have you been with, worked with?
Can you divulge?
She's been with many.
No, celebrities.
Those
not
are
guys.
those are secrets.
Well, the most recent celebrity that you would know on a national is Bette Midler.
Shut up! Oh, that was gay of me.
I got really excited. I worked with her just recently because she's actually playing one of my clients in an upcoming movie. And so anyway, I've worked with her. And a lot of my celebrity clients have died because I've been doing hair a long time. The hairdresser is still living, but the celebrities aren't.
Did you ever do any of their hair for their funeral?
No. I'll tell you.
That's so morbid.
I don't know. Well,
But it's funny. I was thinking that.
Maybe they left it in their, Colin does my hair so wonderful, he has to do it when I die.
The hair pieces.
For the casket, no, I don't get near the casket. The next casket I get near is going to be my own, but I won't have anything. I won't have any power over it. But I'll tell you something. You know, I used to have stars in my eyes about celebrities, but you find out that they put their shoes on one at a time, as my father always told me. But one of my favorite experiences in my long and checkered career was working with Princess Margaret, who, for those of you that wouldn't know who that is, she was, in her day, the rebellious princess. She was the bad princess. She liked to screw, men, and she drank
who doesn't?
Cheap gin. I'm telling you, it's still early. I mean, we got a whole night ahead of us. It could be Mr. Magic right outside the door. But, there used to be. Every door I would step outside, there was Mr. Magic. Now I go out, I go, Mr. Magic. They go, how much money do you have?
Exactly.
So, anyway, where were we? Digress. Oh, so right here in Cleveland, Ohio, I did the Princess Margaret's hair because that was in 1977. She was here to raise money for the Royal Opera House, and she stayed at the Eaton Center, the Eaton whatever they call it, where they put up their top execs, and it's in Bratton, all right on the lake. But I had to be educated in how to meet the princess. Do you know that depending on how deep you bow or curtsy has to do with what they're wearing? So let's say you're going to meet Queen Elizabeth II. If she's in a regular outfit, you just slightly curtsy or bow, in my case. If she's in a tiara, you curtsy halfway down or you bow halfway down. But if she's in full raiment, now let me tell you,
full drag, okay.
Full drag, honey. The crown, the cape, that looks like she borrowed it from the Pope. Then you go, honey, you're down on that. She's in a crown. Get down on that floor. So I'm glad it was in 1977 when I would have been able to get down on the floor. But right now I'm going, I'm sorry, Queen, but this is as low as I can get. So, but yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It depends on what they're wearing. But I know you're waiting to hear names like Beyonce.
No, I am not one of her fans, and I'll be publicly about that.
Really?
I'm not. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
She's a great singer, but I guess I'm just not that into her music. Oh. And I just piss the people in the green room off a lot.
I hear yells and screams.
They're really upset.
Our friend Stanley and the crew back there.
But I want to get my blood pressure back up. I want to go back to the inequality. I love protest marches, and I'm so happy that I'm in Cleveland while there's a protest going on, because I don't care what the protest is about. I just love protests. And I know it's something good, and because protests usually come from people that have a cause, but because of inequality. I mean, I don't remember very many protests that were for the conservatives, right? It's usually some outlaw group, in this case, homosexuals. Those filthy homosexuals.
Speaking of protests, Judith, you want to fill us in today? Because what happened today in Ohio was, because, of course, the Republicans are trying to sew up vaginas here in Ohio and control them the best they can.
Right.
So what happened today?
So the reason why I was in Columbus today was the Freedom of Choice Coalition around Ohio called an emergency lobby day for all of our pro-choice friends to educate our legislators around the quote-unquote heartbeat bill, which I know we've talked about here, HB 125. It passed through the House. This bill, among many other things, would ban abortion after a heartbeat is detected. The problem with that is that many women don't know that they're pregnant until after a heartbeat can be detected. So it would virtually outlaw abortion in the state of Ohio, among many other provisions in this bill, but that's the name, the heartbeat bill. So we all came to Columbus, met with our legislators. It's had hearings in the Senate committee. They're getting ready to decide whether or not they're going to vote it out of committee through the Senate. it's just appalling. It really is. It would, if it does pass, it would be the most restrictive bill in the United States around abortion and access to women's health care. You know, Roe v. Wade, this is legal for us to have access to reproductive health care. So it really is a war on women. We look at all of the bills that our legislature has been wasting their time on. Let's say, face it, they have been wasting time. They are not talking about jobs and the economy. They are so worried about what's happening in my uterus. So it really was. It was an emergency lobby day. We were down there. There were probably
how was the attendance?
At least 300 to 400 folks there just for the rally. And then shortly after that, we had there was a press conference that the Ohio Democratic Republican Women Caucus, I know I got those words mixed up, but you get the idea, had a press conference, each talking about different bills that they have brought to the legislature that have either not had any hearing or only a sponsor hearing, that all impact our families and economy and things that aren't being discussed in our legislature right now because they're too busy talking about my uterus.
Well,
your uterus
we're done talking about your uterus.
Very interesting place.
But I wanted to definitely share that with everyone because of what's going on. Yes, Colin.
Well, again, I'm getting very pissed off. You know, I'm already on high blood pressure medicine. They're going to have to up the dosage because I mean, I can't even turn on a television. I can't even go to Yahoo unless some bigotry pops up in my face, and I really. I've been a champion of equal rights, and I really mean equal rights, not pretending to have equal rights. I mean, I remember a bunch of people from some church in Wichita, Kansas, were in New York. Now,
Westboro Baptist Church?
No, it wasn't Westboro, but they're from Tennessee or something. You know, Kansas, Tennessee, one's flat, one's hilly. It's all the same. They have a Greyhound bus ticket instead of a passport. Anyway, show me someone with a lot of stamps in their passport, and I'll show you someone that has a heart. But you want to find heartless people, go to church this Sunday. That's where you'll find the heartless.
Colin Lively, ladies and gentlemen.
He's lively.
So this bunch of, you know, blue-eyed rednecks from Kansas appear in New York. Now, the problem is they look at me and they think I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You can infiltrate. You can infiltrate.
You do have blue eyes.
I switched places with Martin Luther King Jr. You think he's dead? No. Here he is, right here. So don't start that shit with me because you think I'm one of you.
In a sarong.
Don't, because you're sitting with your hands behind your head, all reared back on the front veranda of a country club. Then I'm sitting there next to you. That I'm thinking the way you do because you're dead wrong. I'm thinking about the dishwasher in the kitchen who's preparing helping prepare the food that you're complaining about because it isn't quite hot enough. So anyway,
we've pissed him off.
I know.
I stay pissed off. This is what I'm telling you. I stay pissed off. I've worked my whole life to make things equal. I want beauty. I want art. I want people to feel good about who they are. I don't want to. I mean, I was here a summer ago, and it was July 4th, and it was like this. Who was this basketball player that was threatening to leave? LeBron James, and they're like, oh, he's going to make it, or he's going to make or break Cleveland. We can't afford. I go, look, if a city the size of Cleveland is depending on whether LeBron James stays or goes, then you deserve to go down the tubes. If that's all you have to be proud of, then you deserve what you get. What about, you know, your Rockefeller family that started out here? What about all the famous things that started out. What about Karamu Playhouse, the first all-black repertory theater? Did you ever think of those things?
And we should give them a plug. I mean, anyone that knows Karamu, and I don't even know their website, but I'm sure if you Google Karamu Playhouse, they are in need of some help. So please look them up on Google, and if you can be kind and generous. And one of the reasons you're here too tonight is, and you keep on talking about the arts, and we want to plug Art Cares has really taken a big launch. You are Art Cares is the big art event, which is a fundraiser for the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland. Can't get that out, which is kind of odd. There's a blockage there. I don't know what that is. And you are on the host committee, and you are in New York on the host committee trying to get people to come to this event. It's going to be on April 28th. And
I'll be there.
Yeah.
At Mocha.
Yeah, at Mocha. It's going to be very nice.
Tell us what we're going to see there.
Do you know?
What are we going to see at Mocha? Like you mean on the walls, the art? What are we going to see, or what are we going to see at Mocha?
Right?
I think it's one of those events that it's to see and be seen at, because
it is the event of the year.
I mean,
it really is.
There's big sponsors. Everyone from Nordstrom to University Hospital Systems to Medical Mutual. I mean, everyone's sponsoring the darn thing. Fox News.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be this like noblesse oblige sort of thing. Like if people were wealthy, they gave back. One people I'm really proud of for Cleveland are the Lewises, Peter and Toby Lewis.
People do love them.
Well, because they are people that have given generously, continuously to this community. Toby was one of the first persons who started Mocha. I mean, Cleveland has always had high art, very elitist kind of arts. The Cleveland Museum of Art, which is something I'm extremely proud of, is one of the top 5 in the country. The Cleveland Orchestra is one of the top 5 orchestras, not only in the United States, in the world. But that reaches a very small part of the greater city of Cleveland. But Mocha, it's contemporary art. It discovers artists that are alive, that can be helped, and it gives you a different way to view art. It pushes your boundaries, and that's what we need. We need to understand that art is what enriches our souls and enriches our city. So that's why I'm doubly happy to be coming back, to be helpful to the gay LGBT community and modern art.
And young artists like the ones I introduced you to, Perez Smith, Lawrence White, writers and fashion designers and whatever the hell Stanley does.
Well,
now. We love Stanley. Do not say that about Stanley.
Stanley is a social media guru.
He is.
But,
absolutely.
But Colin, I believe that we have someone on the phone that you might know.
Oh, no? Not yet?
No?
Okay. I was going to say hello.
I thought we heard it.
Is it the IRS?
He's not here.
They thought I was in Tibet.
Sorry about that, Colin.
My housekeeper said he moved to Tibet.
Hello?
Hello?
No, we're not getting her.
I'm thinking I hear her.
We were trying to get Jennifer Swampwich, but I have a feeling we're not going to be able to.
She's probably feeding her alligators.
But tell us, I heard...
Chris, that's okay.
I heard that you actually
visited
her.
Well, let me tell you something. Since Facebook, a lot of people have created Facebook. It's sort of like their stage, and they sit at home and they've created a script and a stage, and they act out the roles. So Jennifer Swampwich Johnson is someone that I met very accidentally. I was looking at some pictures of a friend of mine that lives in North Carolina, who's sort of like one of these, private school kind of girls, former debutante. And it was her, second grade class. And I couldn't figure out which one she was, so I ran my little scanner to see her name pop up. And this name pops up, Jennifer Swampwich Johnson. I'm going, what an unusual name for a bunch of, private school girls. So I went to her page, And Jennifer is a witch.
Right.
She's a white witch,
Yeah.
and she's a tarot card reader.
Yeah, she's
and
on every week with us, so that's.
Oh,
why
she's on every week?
Yeah, she's on every week. Normally she's in the chat room
right.
and then she comes on, but
Oh
this
my
week she's
gosh.
missing in action, and you're here. What is this about?
Well, I actually...
What?
Should I try her again?
No, because we're running out of time.
Well, I want to tell
finish
about
your
her
story.
house.
Yes, please.
So we became friends via Facebook, via this accidental meeting. And I go to South Carolina, and I'm in this neighborhood. My GPS is saying, your location is 200 feet ahead on the right. And I'm in sort of like a typical suburban neighborhood. And I've seen all these exotic pictures of her feeding alligators and whatnot. And there, in the midst of this sort of like community that you might find in Solon, Ohio, is this wooded grove. And there's a woman standing there in a velvet gown right at the edge of the driveway, all the way to the ground, holding a crystal ball.
Oh my goodness.
And I'll go in, and it's this whole special world. She is such a unique person who has not been pressured in by her peers to live this sort of mundane beige life.
Yeah.
So she's got pet alligators. She goes out, she calls Annie, and this alligator comes running to her because that's Annie's mother.
Oh my goodness.
She's got 2 pet possums.
She has a raccoon, right?
A raccoon, and she has like 38 cats, and she has like cat houses for them. And each cat has its own bed with its own name, and those cats know which beds are theirs.
And of course she has her dog Cajun, who barks when she's on the air with us.
Raging Cajun.
Raging Cajun too.
Oh, and one other thing. She's a beauty queen. She's won quite a few crowns.
She's a beautiful woman.
She is
gorgeous.
Oh, she is.
Well, it is already 7:56, and we're going to have to get going because we have a new show that comes on after us, which will be coming on at 8 p.m. And so we're going to, on a fun note, because Colin's in town, we wanted some straight boys to shake it for you, Colin.
This goes out to you,
So we're going to play
Colin.
this little video. And they're quite the characters, I think.
Oh,
yes.
So I don't have to get my dollar
Hey,
bills
Corey.
out for G-strings.
Oh, hey, Ben.
There we
so,
go.
remember that music video we filmed 2 years ago and you were going to finish the song? Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
Can I have it?
I believe you said you were going to give me my thong back.
This thong?
That thong.
The thong.
Oh. No thong?
I was
No
given
thong.
one of those before I went on
Alright.
vacation by my colleagues.
It's
Yes.
a large thong.
It's a candy. It's a candy.
It's a candy thong.
Yeah, okay, straight guys.
Much like this candy, this is the extra
straight
hard
guys.
remix of Shake Your Dicks.
I've already had enough. Good night, everybody.
Oh, but the party's just starting.
Yep. I'm a Christian woman.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious? What's she saying?
I don't know.
Wow, I love this video.
They're not in the best of shape, but they're interesting guys, that's
But
for
they're
sure.
real.
They're real
Real
guys.
men.
They're real. It's just odd filming, that's for sure.
Are these local boys?
No.
Damn. I've got 4 more days to be here.
Get back in here.
You know, this is an
Are
outrage.
you're saving your virgin eyes?
She's like, those men are too average looking for me.
Yeah, that's it.
Average and very white. Very pale white.
So you know they're not hung.
No.
I met a hung white guy. Actually, there was a Polish boy once. Kielbasa. Oh.
Story time with Colin.
And the nice thing about a diverse city like Cleveland is you can run into people that don't speak English, and it's such a time saver.
I love your dating advice, Colin.
Oh no! English.
See, now we have some heterosexual versions.
So wave your miss like a flag.
bags, traits and glad, nothing wrong with that. Shaking's the new fad. Gays grab a
Well, this is Joust It Out, and we again thank and love Colin Lively for being here today. And we had Mark Szabo earlier on, and he wanted to give a shout out to everyone and that's showing up, including Planned Parenthood, for their early on support. And there is a fundraiser Friday night at Twist, which is going to support Equality Ohio because they paid for all the licensing and variancing for the event on Saturday. So folks that want to go there, it starts at 6 p.m. at Twist on Friday night. And, Colin Lively will be back again at some point.
What time is that protest on Saturday?
That is Saturday,
11 a.m.
to 2 p.m.
And what are we protesting? I don't care, but what is it?
Gay marriage and full equality.
Yes, gay marriage. Is there another protest? I'd just like to protest.
Well, if there's another one right after, I'm sure we can catch a late service.
Yeah. Whatever it is, yes, down with you.
Thank you, Colin.
All right.
This is Joust It Out. We'll be back next week.